Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Aisha MD. For those of you who haven't subscribed to my channel, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I need you, okay? This relationship between you and it's not working, okay? I need you. I need you to be part of this. I want you. So we need to reevaluate this, all right? And for those of you who are subscribed, you're my G's. You know I love you. You know what I needed even before I told you what I needed. And you did it. You are the real OGs. And I will never forget that. All these new followers, they got nothing on you. Nothing. But we need them though. We need them to expand our family. Okay, so please go ahead and subscribe and like my videos and share if you enjoyed this. So today I would like to talk about being a Black Muslim abroad. I feel this is an everyday life for those people who live abroad and are not really from that country or nationality. They just maybe came here to study or to work. Even though you are not in that criteria of people, I think that you as a person, like maybe being in Nigeria or at home or any other country, or even being another race, you would understand like the everyday life of a typical person. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and discuss it. A lot of people think when you're abroad, you're living the life. Everything is good, everything is rosy, everything is nice. I won't lie, it feels good, everything is a little more organized and stuff like that. But at the same time, there are a lot of challenges you face just being another race and having an identity or religion that has been portrayed in the world as being bad or being corrupt or however they want to see it. And I do face these challenges, even though, thank God, and fortunately for me, it's not as bad as other people's stories and experiences that I've heard, because I've heard of like people getting bottles thrown at them and being called monkey, people even getting people to pull guns at them just because they're Black. And especially if you're like Muslim, because obviously if you wrap your head this way, you're just sending a message as a target to all this white supremacist racist people. Honestly, if you were born racist, when I say born racist, it doesn't mean people are born to be racist, but if you grow up in a society where they condemn other people's race and religion, I can understand. If you grow up thinking that way, I can understand. But if you die racist, if you die and you're absolutely biased, then that is completely unacceptable. Then you failed as a human being. You failed in so many ways, because this, like, being white or being Black was never a choice of anyone. You didn't negotiate with God or the universe or whatever it is that you believe in about what race and what nationality you want to be in. You didn't negotiate about anyone about who, what father, where, what time, what date. No one gave you that option, And I feel it's very irrational and biased that people think that these things are choices, that it's okay for them to bully, to criticize, to dehumanize other people just because they're from different parts of the world. But when it comes to like you or your family, you want people to accept you. You want people to respect your beliefs and what you stand for and so on like that. But I feel like there are a lot of people out there, they're not willing to do this for others. They're just like very, very selfish and self-centered. So I'm going to tell you about an experience that was very, very heartbreaking to me. Last year, January, I traveled to Russia. I was in Moscow. I went for like volunteering work with this organization called 𝐵𝑒𝑒𝑒. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's basically where young people come and believe they can change the world and do things. I'm not going to go into details about that. If you want to look it up, I would suggest it and I would highly recommend you do it. So I did a volunteering work with 𝐵𝑒𝑒𝑒 and I traveled to Russia. Traveling to Russia was a good experience at the end of the day, but at the beginning of the trip, it wasn't as great as I thought it was. So I got to the airport, and this is like an everyday thing. If you're from another country or you have another passport, you will know what I'm talking about, especially coming from Africa or Nigerian. People in front of you would go to the passport control. 2 minutes, they're done, they've been stamped, moving on. But when it comes to you, a black person, you're in a hijab, and in my passport photograph, I think my hair, my scarf was this way. I put it around my head. They take longer. They take longer to like check you and stamp you. And when I was there, I was on the queue, and then at some point they told me to leave the line, and I ended up literally being like the only one there, and I had to wait for like 10 minutes. They had to check my passport. They had to take my passport to another room. They had to check it. Like, after everything, they still came back and started to ask me questions. I have a residence permit. When you have a residence permit, it's like a second grade visa, passport basically of like the country. And it was so annoying because I have my visa, I have my permit, my passport is not expired. So what is all this about? If I did not go through the diligent process, I wouldn't be here in the first place. And so I have a permit coming from Hungary, but then these people I was there like 10 minutes. And then after everything, like the woman could see in my eyes that I was frustrated, even as she was asking me questions. Where are you coming from? What do you do in Hungary? Stuff like that. Like, I get it's the protocol, but I sincerely feel like half the time it has to do with how you look like as a person, you know? After all that, I got stamped. I had access to go in. And then I was supposed to be picked up at a train station by someone who I didn't know. So I took a train from the airport to the supposed train station. You know, this shuttles that take you from the airport to the city. So I took that, and I came out and I didn't find her. I guess maybe it's like it has different doors or different entrance. So maybe she was at another entrance. So I was standing there for like long. And then Russia is cold. It was hella cold. I went in the winter. It was like cold. So I saw a mall. Then I decided to go in, maybe like find like someone that would help me call her, or maybe better still get a SIM card. That was the plan. So I go into this mall, and then there was like a security check. Like, there were security guys, not really like a check. You know, you just put like some things and then you pass or whatever. And then these people asked for my passport. I showed it to them. As soon as they were done seeing my passport. I had like a cabin bag and one big box. These people asked me to open my box. Please, what? Are you kidding me? Open my box. For what? I looked at them like, in my mind, I'm like, if I was white, if I was coming from US or the UK, would you be telling me to open my box? I didn't. I looked at them like, are you kidding me? Are you shitting me? Like, I've traveled all the way from another country to come here to get this shit from you. And then one of the guy, like, he saw the way I was looking, and then he told the other guy that he should just let me go. So I guess the person that I met at the end of the day, obviously because of my experiences, I wasn't really like super nice, the nicest person to her, and she had like a lot of energy when she came to see me and stuff like that. But I was tired, I was irritated, I had like a terrible experience, and that kind of ruined it, you know. And also I remember a conversation that I had with someone one time about this Syrian migration, about the refugees, and this person was like, I'm sorry, I lost you there for a second. Okay, so as I was saying, I had this conversation with this person. I can remember vividly. It was sitting, the three of us, on a table, and I asked them about the whole migration of the refugees in Syria and what they thought about it. And I knew that obviously people had a lot to say, because at that time I knew that the Europeans had a problem with, you know, the numbers of migration or refugees that were coming in. So this person looked at me and they were like, yeah, I think that the country shouldn't accept them, that they should just stay in their country, and the government should try and help them fix their country rather than moving into other countries or whatever like that. Honestly, I just looked at this person and I was like, are you kidding me? What? I've seen like a lot of devastating, heartbreaking videos about the war, about children being raped, women being raped, beaten, men being raped, beaten. Like, those people have lost their homes have been destroyed, they've lost their limbs, some of them have lost their limbs, some of them have lost their entire family, they're alone, like their whole family has been killed, has been wiped out, they're hungry, they're starving, people eating their shoes, eating sand. Like, it was so bad. And I just felt so heartbroken, because even if you say that the government should fix things, war is something that is very, very hard to come back from. Even if you come back from, let's say, financially, or build the community back up again, it's very, very hard to come back from psychologically and mentally. And at the same time, this, if you see the budgets this so-called other countries should help them fix, are spending on war. Like, war can be inevitable. I promise you, no matter how much developed you think your country is, with so much testosterone and in those political positions, it's something that can easily happen to any other countries. A lot of people are very, very emotional and personal right now, and they just make things really personal, you know. At the same time, like, they've spent so much money. If you see the budget they've used to spend or sponsor this war, you would not believe it. It would be enough for them to build that country back up again. But no, at the end of the day, the truth is, war is profitable business. War is lucrative. War is profitable. So they would not help them. When war happens in a country, what happens is that some of this called shotters or big countries, they come, they steal their resources, they steal their money and so on, like that. So it's good business, it's lucrative business for them. It's a win-win. There's no lose, because it's not happening to them, they just supply it. So that's the truth. War is lucrative business. At the end of the day, I actually cried when I went back, because I just felt so devastated and so heartbroken. And I looked at this person, I was like, I do not wish war on your country, but until you understand what war is and how much effect it can have on, like, a person and an individual, then we would have this conversation. Because if this was to happen to your family or in your country, would you still be in the position to say that you stay there, starve to death, we're going to fix your country? No, you wouldn't. You would move. I know people are saying that, oh, like, some of these refugees are coming in, taking most of the benefits of their countries, and their countries forsaking them and looking after these refugees. It's not true. A country cannot forsake their own citizens for other citizens. Yes, they're helping them, they're giving them healthcare, education, and housing and accommodation and stuff like that. But even at that, I've heard of stories of IDP camps, people being raped, tortured, beaten, starved to death, killed even. So even after leaving that war, it's still another war you have to fight. I've also experienced someone asking me what it feels like to be a Black person. How can you look at someone and ask them what it feels like to be human? He asked me what it feels like to be Black. And I looked at this guy and I was like, what did you say? He was like, yeah, how does it feel like to be Black? I was like, feels like a human being. It's just like being a human, being a person. At the end of the day, you sleep, you eat, you poop, you pee. That's the same thing I do. I breathe. That's the same thing I do. There's no difference between what you do and what I do. People don't understand that when 99.909% alike, they think because you have a different hair or a different color, you're like 50% different from them. No, we're actually 99.9999999% alike. Literally, it's like 1%. That's even for apes. What am I saying? Yes, was 0.0001% alike. That's what we are. Well, in fact, as far as I'm concerned, we're alike. And this person looked at me and they asked me, how does it feel to be Black? It feels like being a person. I breathe, you sleep, I sleep, you eat, I eat. So what are you talking about? And people need to understand that you need to be comfortable in your skin. You need to know that you're beautiful. And I accept my skin and I know that I'm beautiful. Please, have you seen this? Look at me. Just look at me. I'm beautiful. I'm comfortable in my skin. And I've had people like think just because I look differently or I'm black, like I'm supposed to just somehow feel like I'm not good enough or I'm not enough or I'm like some kind of lesser human being than they are. No, I'm more human being than you are. I'm more human. I've also had an experience where someone was kind of offended because I was telling them like what to do or suggesting things to them just because I was black and I was a woman. He didn't like that. He didn't like it. He didn't say that it's because I am, but I know. Sometimes you know these things. You know these things. You think that, okay, if it was a white chick telling you this, would you still be saying that? No. And for men, they objectify you as a black girl. Sometimes you think that they're nice to you, they're talking to you, they want to befriend you. Half the time, they just want to say that they've been with a black girl. Not really because they care or they want a relationship with you. Sometimes they would tell you, oh yeah, I accept you, but they don't fully accept you. They don't fully accept your culture, your belief, what you stand for. They don't accept it. They try to change you. They try to make you adapt to the situation. And what is up with white people meeting you and telling you, oh, literally you can meet someone, you don't even know them, and they just start telling you, oh, I've dated a black girl before. How's that my business? Ain't no my business. I don't need to know that. Okay, you've dated a black girl, so what do you want me to do with that information? Do you want me to kill myself? Do you want me to give you an award and be like, you're not racist? Bitch, stop doing that. Language. Okay, so also another experience I've literally had someone like ask me, oh, would you prefer white boys or black boys? I prefer reasonable boys. It's not about your color. But if I have to say, I prefer my black boys. I don't know. I'm black. I'm black even in my blood. And I want to be black even with other people. I want my children to be black. I want my children to be saturated in that melanin. I want them to have it. Yeah. So I prefer reasonable people. But give me some black man. Black man juice. I like that black. Okay, so another experience I would like to talk about was in 2016 when the rise of Islamophobia was happening in Europe. We used to have a mosque here in Debrecen, Hungary, that I think the UAE bought a house and then we just converted into a mosque. It was really nice. We used to pray there. We used to have iftar there. We used to have like meetings there, which was really nice. And mind you, we didn't have like loudspeakers that was like calling prayers and like, you know, disturbing other people. We didn't. And then there was a graffiti of a bomb drawn on it and like cancelled, like basically like, you know what, we don't want you here. I've never for 1 minute heard of story of like a Muslim doing anything or killing people or harassing people or any of that in like the past time that I was here. Even before I came here, like they haven't. So why did you feel the need to just degrade and condescend and dehumanize people like that? And people don't understand. They think that, okay, you're abroad, like it's just good and rosy and everything. You still have to face challenges even after leaving your country. And me being the fact that I've actually just been going on holidays to other countries, I've never really lived there, you don't understand how much like comfort you have in your own place, in your own skin and identity. Maybe you have like a little crisis about religion or tribe or whatever, but when it comes to like you being a person, you being a human, like it's not the subject of discussion. And half the time I just want to go somewhere and disappear. And that's why I fell in love with Vienna, because I went there and I just disappeared into the crowd. Unlike Hungary, like you come there as a black person, so God help you, even put your scarf like this, you're going to be the center of attention. Everybody's going to look at you and be wondering like, what are you doing here? It's like some weird thing. And I don't like that feeling. I don't like to go into a room and just call the attention like in the negative way, because they look at you like very strangely. Even when you're like talking to someone, they look at you like, you're talking to me, okay? Or they would have like some kind of nasty attitude just because you're a black person, unless you start spending money, obviously, and they see that you have money, and then the whole story would change. Your skin does not matter anymore. It's about your money. And it's very, very offensive. And people need to understand that you need to change your mindset, your perspective on things. If you're born into an idea, I could understand, but it's your duty as a person to kind of go outside that idea, to find more information about this, to educate yourself, to enlighten yourself, and not die as a racist person or a biased person. Even if you're a Muslim, even if you don't agree with certain teachings of certain religion, it's your duty to respect other people. to understand that we're different and we should accept people for how different they are, regardless of whether we stand for those things or not. Just be respectful the same way you want people to be respectful to you. Just try to be as respectful to other people as you can. I made this video because recently I've just been going on like a metanoia, like having like series of epiphanies, and I've been spending a lot of time alone, and that's why I haven't made any videos, because I've like been on this journey. I've kind of felt disconnected from the world for like a month now, and I'm glad that I'm kind of coming out of that phase. So I felt it was important to make some kind of video like this, because it's not easy emotionally and psychologically to be so far away from your culture and your family, and can be very challenging. And people just, you know, they see you being abroad and just think like everything is good. But if you're coming abroad or you're going to live abroad, you need to have that mental brace. You need to brace yourself mentally for it, because that's the reality of things. Things are going to change. But I love being here. I love being abroad. I love the fact that I came to study abroad, because I feel like it has exposed me, it has enlightened me, it has brought me back to myself, like as an individual. It has allowed me to find myself. It has allowed me to understand myself, being far away from my family. And that's one thing that I would forever be grateful for, and I really want everyone to experience that, because when you move away from your home and your culture and your tradition, it forces you to learn and expose yourself. And that's what being abroad has done to me. So yeah, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it if you think that I said some few things that you feel other people should hear, and I would appreciate it if you subscribe. I keep saying that subscribe because I know half of you are not subscribed. Please, I'm happy to subscribe. Okay, thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.